I just wanted to amicably part ways. I thought we were going to be doing that on Friday, so it was a little shocking to end up in the clink. I'd be arraigned within 48 hours, which means I'd spend the whole weekend in jail, then taken to the Van Nuys court system, processed and charged, whatever, and then, my green card would be revoked and I'd be back in Canada.
Are you worried at all how this could affect the spousal support when this gets into the court proceedings?
No, I got the truth, man.
Welcome back to Celebrity News Addict. Today, we're diving into the most recent updates in the shocking divorce battle between Denise Richards and Aaron Phypers. It's been about a month since our last update on this destructive pair, and the headline-breaking news just keeps on coming. So, in this video, we'll be getting into it all, including all the details surrounding Aaron's 4 felony charges, his courtroom arrest and upcoming criminal trial, Denise's latest big win in court, and the couple's escalating financial battles as they're evicted from their destroyed home in Calabasas and face huge penalties for debt and damages. Plus, we'll break down the fallout from the restraining order hearing, the landlord's new lawsuit against the pair, and the latest behind-the-scenes drama as Denise begins speaking out for the first time since Aaron's arrest. From arrests and eviction to excruciating debts and explosive courtroom showdowns, this toxic divorce shows no signs of slowing down, either in or out of the courtroom. As always, we've got a lot to cover. So, let's get straight into it. As usual, let's kick things off with a quick recap of the events leading up to the court trial last month that ultimately ended with Aaron's arrest, before diving into his felony charges, upcoming hearing dates, the outcome of the restraining order trial, and the couple's never-ending financial struggles. I've been following this case since the beginning and posting regular deep dives into the couple's relationship breakdown and horrifying divorce accusations, so I'll link the playlist below if you want the full details on any of the allegations or trial proceedings up to this point. I'll just be running through the key events now if you need a quick refresher. If you're already up to date with the latest video, feel free to skip to the timestamp on screen to get straight into the latest news. So, Aaron and Denise met in 2017 while Aaron was still separating from his then wife, Nicolette Sheridan. Following a whirlwind romance, the pair were married just 1 year after meeting, on September 8, 2018. Despite early red flags, including a Real Housewives of Beverly Hills moment where Aaron threatened to break Denise's hand on camera, the couple presented a happy marriage and united front for nearly 7 years. Denise even announced Aaron had adopted her daughter Eloise in 2019 and insisted just last year that they would never get divorced. But behind the scenes, things were far from perfect, as sources revealed that the couple were always fighting and not as happy as they seemed. Their secret feuds behind the scenes erupted into the public eye on July 4th when the pair had a quote, blowout fight, and Aaron filed for divorce 3 days later, citing irreconcilable differences. In his filing, Aaron requested spousal support, claimed he'd earned no income for a year, and stated that he relied on Denise for financial support, alleging she earns over $250,000 per month. Shockingly, Aaron didn't request custody of Eloise in his filing. Instead, he stated that they had no children together. Then, a couple of weeks later, on July 16th, Denise was granted a TRO after accusing Aaron of domestic violence, assault, and controlling behaviour. She asked the court to order him into a 52-week intervention program and requested that he return her devices and recordings. She also stated they shared no minor children, suggesting Aaron never officially adopted Eloise. 3 days later, on July 19th, Aaron revealed to TMZ that Denise had been having an affair and claimed she destroyed his phone because it contained the evidence. In this public interview, Aaron adamantly denied abusing her and alleged Denise's injuries came from substance-related falls. He later filed a police report for theft, assault, and vandalism and emailed their family and friends denying the abuse allegations and detailing Denise's affair with her Special Forces instructor, Rudy Reyes. He also accused Denise of tracking his car with an AirTag and abusing Vicodin, Adderall, and tequila. Then, on July 25th, Aaron took things a step further when he leaked texts and explicit photos of Denise to the public to prove she was cheating. On July 28th, Denise fired back in court documents, claiming Aaron had violated the TRO by releasing the photos and again demanding that her devices be returned. A judge agreed and ordered that Aaron return Denise's devices and refrain from further distributing her private photos. But Aaron insisted he didn't have them, alleging all of the screenshots and evidence had been taken from his phone. In response, Denise submitted security footage which showed Aaron running from her home holding her laptop. Less than a week later, on August 3rd, police were called to Aaron's home when Denise showed up to retrieve one of her dogs, violating the terms of the restraining order. When police arrived, they concluded that no crime had been committed, despite Aaron telling dispatchers that he feared for his parents' safety. The next day, Denise's attorney released a statement claiming that Denise went to the home after learning Aaron had put down one of her dogs without permission. Aaron denied it, but later admitted that the dog had been euthanized due to late-stage cancer, with a source claiming that it was a very painful decision for him. After a brief lull, things reignited on August 19th when Denise filed for a court order demanding that Aaron and his family vacate their $3.5 million Calabasas rental so she could safely collect her dogs and belongings without violating the TRO. She said she'd moved out over 2 years earlier and claimed Aaron had agreed to take over rent in January 2025. Yet she'd just received notice he was facing eviction after missing payments and avoiding the landlord. The filing included photo evidence of the home in a state of disarray, as Denise claimed that Aaron and his family had severely damaged the property. An inside source disputed this, claiming it was actually Denise who had left the home in this state, and that Aaron was in the process of clearing it up. The next day, on August 20th, Aaron agreed to Denise's request and asked for equal access to collect his belongings from their 3 townhomes, proposing pre-agreed itemized lists, police on standby, and video documentation of any items taken. He also addressed the confusion over Eloise, saying he signed adoption papers, but Denise never filed them, leaving him legally without his daughter. In this filing, Aaron also requested Denise give him a contribution toward his $75,000 attorney fees and $140,000 for rent and utilities, claiming she controlled all marital funds. Then, on August 29th, Denise submitted her witness list in her request to make the TRO permanent, naming Aaron, his 84-year-old mother Patricia, and 3 unnamed witnesses who had knowledge of Aaron's alleged abuse. Denise also stated that she would testify in the trial on September 8th. She followed this up on September 4th with her legal response to Aaron's divorce filing, citing irreconcilable differences as the reason for the split. She also requested that the court block Aaron from collecting spousal support and petitioned for support from him instead. The next day, on September 5th, Denise filed her evidence list for the upcoming TRO hearing, which included the clip from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, where Aaron threatened to crush her hand, alongside several photos of bruises on her arms and legs, which she alleged were inflicted by Aaron, and texts with Aaron's mum and other third parties discussing the alleged abuse. In retaliation, on September 8th, Aaron requested to delay the TRO hearing. The judge agreed to postpone to October 6th, but repeated the order that Aaron return Denise's laptop and phone by September 9th. The pair were also both granted permission to return to their various properties to collect their belongings on September 13th and 15th. Before Denise could collect her belongings on the 13th, Aaron took reporters around the Calabasas home on September 11th, showing the extensive damage which he insisted that Denise had caused. Then, on September 15th, Aaron filed his response to Denise's TRO, stating that he didn't need to attend a batterer intervention program or abide by an order of no contact as Denise had requested, because he had never abused her and never would. He claimed that Denise was the aggressor in the relationship, claiming that she called him multiple times despite the TRO, harassed him and tracked him with an AirTag. He also argued that he owned the copyright to the explicit photos of her that he had previously leaked. Aaron also addressed Denise's request for spousal support, arguing that she is the only one with income and is requesting spousal support to harass him, stating, quote, "I believe that this entire domestic violence proceeding is merely a ruse to try to cut me off from being able to obtain spousal support." The financial fallout escalated on September 25th when the Creditors Adjustment Bureau sought permission to go after Denise's earnings from Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, Special Forces, Amazon, and OnlyFans in order to pay Aaron's $228,000 debt from a loan he had defaulted on back in 2019. The debt collectors argued that they should be allowed to pursue Denise's wages since the pair are married. Then, on October 1st, an insider revealed that Denise has already spent, quote, "many tens of thousands in legal fees fighting Aaron," claiming this divorce is absolutely bleeding her dry and could drain all her savings. But Denise wasn't the only one struggling financially. On October 2nd, Aaron filed documents revealing that he was in dire financial straits, financially desperate, facing eviction, and living without basic utilities. He said he owes $60,000 in unpaid rent for the home in Calabasas and alleged that Denise owes the same. He also requested $150,000 from their joint accounts to pay his debts, living costs, and legal expenses. However, Denise immediately opposed the request and the judge denied Aaron's plea due to, quote, "insufficient evidence of immediate loss or damage to property." The final updates came between October 6th to October 10th when the TRO trial kicked off. I've gone into a lot of detail about the testimony from all the witnesses in my previous video, so I'll just summarize it here so we can get into the latest news. So, on Monday, October 6th, Aaron's cousin, Kathleen McAllister, testified virtually that she had witnessed Aaron's abuse multiple times since 2022. Kathleen detailed several instances where she allegedly witnessed Aaron hit Denise, give her a concussion, cause head injuries, and threaten to kill her in alcohol-fueled rages, stating he was, quote, "what anyone would refer to as an alcoholic." Denise also took to the stand, where she gave emotional testimony, claiming Aaron had, quote, "almost killed me so many damn times." Denise detailed numerous occasions where Aaron had allegedly been physically abusive, claiming he had pushed, bruised, and choked her, saying she felt scared, sad, and intimidated by him. When it came time for Aaron's defense, Denise was cross-examined and admitted to calling Aaron multiple times despite the TRO, stating she had tried to contact him regarding the status of their rental home payments in order to avoid being sued, as well as to ask him to stop trying to destroy her reputation by releasing the naked photos of her. Denise admitted to putting an AirTag on Aaron's car, claiming it was for her own protection after he had threatened that she would disappear. Aaron was also later called to the stand, where he denied all allegations of abuse and stated he had never threatened Denise. So, that's where we left things on October 10th. But the trial and drama surrounding this divorce was only just getting started. During the week-long trial, Denise testified about the abuse that was inflicted upon her by Aaron. While describing multiple allegations of physical and emotional abuse, at one point during the hearing, Denise pleaded for a tissue and began crying while recalling a particularly abusive event in May, where she claims Aaron got very volatile with her at a Four Seasons hotel just hours after she had undergone a facelift. Denise stated that he, quote, "smashed me on the top of my head with the palm of his hand while screaming at me repeatedly, 'Give me your effing phone.'" She stated that she was disoriented from the surgery and feared that he may seriously injure her. Denise also detailed another incident between March and May 2022, where Aaron allegedly, quote, "slammed me up against the concrete wall and my head hit it," while in the carport at his wellness center, which ultimately gave her a concussion. Denise also testified to a third incident in April 2025 at a hotel in Chicago, where Aaron was allegedly, quote, "squeezing my head so hard, which felt like he was crushing my skull." During the trial, Denise also went into more detail about how Aaron had ended up taking possession of her laptop, which he continues to deny. She stated that in September, when Aaron returned to the townhomes to collect his belongings, he allegedly asked her for her phone, which she hid in her shorts, causing him to grab her by both arms and push her down the stairs, before leaving with her laptop, purse, and credit card. A video was also played in court, which Denise had sent to Aaron in response to his leaking her texts with Rudy Reyes. In this video, she referred to Aaron as a narcissist and detailed multiple instances of alleged physical abuse, stating, quote, "You were the last person I thought would do that to me. I don't know why I'm having a hard time with this. Things were bad with Charlie and I, but he never hit below the belt." Throughout the trial, Aaron continued to deny all allegations of abuse, stating, quote, "I never physically harmed Denise Richards. I never threatened to harm her. I did not threaten to kill anybody." He also claimed that the previous testimony from other witnesses was, quote, "made up because a lot of people like to be close to the stars. They'll do things for them." Aaron's 84-year-old mother, Patricia, also testified on his behalf, turning the accusations of violence and abuse back on Denise and backing up Aaron's claims that Denise was in fact the aggressor. Patricia testified that she had witnessed Denise throw a can opener at Aaron and claimed that Aaron had never abused or threatened her. But despite his denials, after the final hearing on Friday, October 17th, Aaron was arrested by LA County Sheriff's deputies outside the Los Angeles courthouse. According to eyewitnesses, Aaron was arrested outside the court, placed in handcuffs, and taken down a nearby escalator while arguing with the sheriffs. The sheriffs then returned to collect Aaron's phone while Denise was stood nearby watching. One witness stated, quote, "Denise is here. She's calm and talking to her team," while a second witness also confirmed the arrest and stated that Aaron and his attorney seemed confused and, quote, "didn't seem to understand that he was about to get arrested."
Well, they actually denied me even. I said, "Can I speak to my lawyer?" And they said, "Absolutely not." And I said, "Why? I don't even know what is going on here. What are the charges? What's going on?" Like, guys, I'll go with you. You don't even have to cuff me. I'll go. But I just want to know what this is about. Well, domestic violence. I said, "I'm here about domestic violence right now," which isn't true. These are all false allegations.
Once he was in custody, court documents revealed that the deputy district attorney officially charged Aaron with 4 felonies, 2 felony counts for injuring a spouse and 2 felony counts of dissuading a witness by force or threat. According to reports, 1 count of injuring a spouse and both counts of dissuading a witness were connected to an incident from January 17, 2022, while the other account of injuring a spouse was related to another alleged incident between Denise and Aaron that is said to have occurred on May 3, 2022. Following his arrest, Aaron swiftly posted his $200,000 bond on the very same day and was released to await his arraignment on December 19th.
It's a $200,000 bail. So respectfully, where did the money come from?
Someone who loves me. I've got lots of people that are out there that care for me, so they help me. Knowing that I don't have that much on hand, I'd be arraigned within 48 hours, which means I'd spend the whole weekend in jail, then taken to the Van Nuys court system, processed and charged, whatever. And then, my green card would be revoked and I'd be back in Canada.
But what does this mean for Aaron? Well, if he is found guilty, each count of injury to a spouse can hold a sentence of 2 to 4 years in prison, amounting to a maximum of 8 years total for just the first 2 counts. While a conviction for felony dissuading a witness can also result in 2 to 4 years imprisonment and a fine of up to $10,000. So, if found guilty of all charges, Aaron could be looking at a hefty fine and a long time behind bars. But Aaron's lawyer, Michael Finley, made a public statement to Us Weekly immediately after Aaron's release to once again profess his innocence. This statement said, quote, "We can confirm that Aaron Phypers was, in fact, arrested near the end of the family law court day on October 17th, 2025, and was later released on bail." He continued, quote, "We have not seen the criminal complaint, but we believe that it is most likely based upon some of the same false accusations that Denise Richards has brought against Mr. Phypers in the family law domestic violence proceeding, which she claims occurred nearly 4 years ago. If so, we expect that the evidence will demonstrate Mr. Phypers' innocence and that he will be acquitted." Finley also told the Daily Mail, quote, "We feel that it is highly unusual that criminal charges would be brought now over allegations from nearly 4 years ago. In our opinion, Denise's allegations are false, so we expect that the evidence will prove Aaron's innocence and that he will be exonerated." And in a separate statement to TMZ, Finley had stated that Aaron was not aware of the warrant and actually accused Denise and her legal team of, quote, setting him up at Friday's trial. So, with Aaron in police custody, the TRO hearing was then put on pause until November 7th, when Denise finally had her big win in court. After a long and grueling trial, on Friday, November 7th, Denise won her battle and was granted a 5-year restraining order against Aaron, which is set to expire on November 7th, 2030. Under this order, Aaron is not allowed to own or buy guns and must hand over any guns to police. He was also ordered not to abuse Denise, disturb her peace, come within 100 yards of her, or be in contact with her. According to the terms, if the pair do have any communication, Denise is allowed to record the conversations for her safety. Superior Court Judge Mark Juhas, who presided over the case, also reissued the order that Aaron must return Denise's laptop and can't share photos of her or provide information about her to the media, following the leaked explicit photos and texts a few months prior. He was also ordered to return videos of her surgeries to her and delete them from all of his devices and iCloud account. During the 2.5-hour hearing on November 7th, Denise's attorney, Jeff Layfield, reiterated her claims of physical abuse, saying she has, quote, hired private security and moved to a gated community in fear of Aaron. Layfield told the court that Aaron's decision to publicly share Denise's nude photos caused her, quote, extreme stress and anxiety, and was an act of revenge porn, which not only disturbed Miss Richards' peace, it was also a violation of the penal code and a violation of the temporary restraining order. Adding this to the argument for the 5-year extension, Layfield said, quote, Phypers has repeatedly violated the temporary restraining order. There is no evidence whatsoever that Phypers is going to stop the abuse, adding, quote, Mr. Phypers simply does not understand that disseminating nude photos of Miss Richards is abuse. However, Aaron's attorney, Michael Finley, accused Denise of perjury and dismissed 3 witnesses who corroborated her claims as, quote, biased or hostile. Addressing Denise's claims that she was terrified of Aaron, Finley said, quote, she never called the police. If she was really afraid, why would she not want the police called? Adding, quote, she never went to a doctor after her alleged injuries, including the alleged concussions, nor the bruised eye. Why? Because they didn't happen. Again, I just want to reiterate here that this form of victim blaming is horrific, and I can't believe these arguments are still allowed to be made in court. Anyway, Finley continued his statement by justifying Aaron's decision to take screenshots of Denise's nude photos, stating he took them so that he could, quote, have the evidence to prove adultery in order to get a divorce. Finley added, quote, the idea that my client violated the temporary restraining order willy-nilly is ridiculous. She has no fear of him. He's a good man, not a monster. Miss Richards has no need for a restraining order. But Finley's arguments clearly weren't enough to convince the judge, as, while issuing his ruling, Judge Juhas said, quote, it's pretty classic domestic violence from my perspective. Referring to Aaron's decision to distribute her nude photos to the press to prove her affair, the judge said, quote, I think that it's really pretty clear that you can't take private things and throw them out into the world like that without potential consequences. There can't possibly be a defense that her peace can't be disturbed because she had an OnlyFans page and did Playboy. That's not a defense. The judge also addressed Aaron's attempts to dismiss witness testimony as made up, stating, quote, I don't find that Miss Richards and the witness sat down together and made the whole thing up. Following the judge's ruling, a representative for Aaron told the Daily Mail, quote, this is a victory for Aaron, since none of Denise's lies proved that he ever abused her, adding, quote, the judge said only the petitioner and respondent know the real truth. Aaron got what he wanted, her staying away from him, and proof she proved nothing. In relation to Aaron losing this trial, the rep said, quote, Aaron had been locked out of all his money, personal and business documents necessary to hire a team and put forth a decent defense against Richards' $1 million legal assault of false accusations, plain and simple. Aaron was also interviewed by Entertainment Tonight outside the courthouse on November 7th, where he stated that he wished it went the other way, but claims that he has the truth on his side and it will all be okay. Let's take a look.
He did what I think is a great job, but again, wish it was the other way. So there you go.
Aaron was also asked if he feared this restraining order ruling may impact his upcoming spousal support hearing, which is scheduled for January 5th, 2026, where he will be fighting for financial support from Denise, including half of her income from OnlyFans, which he alleges is between $200,000 to $300,000 per month.
Are you worried at all how this could affect the spousal support when this gets into the court proceedings?
No, I got the truth, man. And this may be hidden for a minute, and we're going to reset a little bit, but that's okay.
When asked what the next steps were for him in this case, Aaron said he was looking forward to taking a break before gearing up for the next show in his felony hearing set for December 19th and the upcoming spousal support hearing on January 5th. So, while the pair were battling each other in court, they also faced another battle, one they would need to fight together against their landlord. On November 7th, the same day that Denise was granted her 5-year restraining order against Aaron, John Caron, the couple's landlord for the damaged and disputed Calabasas rental home, filed a lawsuit naming both Denise and Aaron as defendants. The suit seeks to evict the pair from the property and demands a total of $84,000 in back rent, claiming they're 7 months behind on their $12,000 per month payments. Caron requested that the judge evict the couple and order charges of $400 for damages to accrue daily until the home is vacated and the keys are returned. Although Denise moved out of the home back in 2023, she had continued to pay the bills so that Aaron and his parents and brother could live there, which was a big point of contention in their relationship, as Aaron kept telling her that, quote, his family would be moving back to Canada and we would be moving back into the home. However, as we previously reported, Denise chose to stop making payments back in January and told Aaron that he would be liable for paying the rent to the landlord. She stated, quote, they've been living there for so long. This was a big problem in our marriage. I can't keep paying every month. But it seems like the rent has been building up pretty much ever since Denise stopped paying. So the pair now face potential eviction. However, as of the date of recording, there has been no public response from either Denise or Aaron to this eviction notice, so I'll be sure to keep you updated as more news is announced. Anyway, after Denise received her 5-year restraining order and eviction notice on the same day, things went quiet for a while, until November 16th, when Denise made an appearance at BravoCon and broke her silence for the first time since the court hearing. On Sunday, November 16th, Denise appeared on the Bravo to Bravo panel at BravoCon, alongside Brittany Cartwright, Luann de Lesseps, and Kim Zolciak. When she was asked how she was doing since being granted the restraining order, Denise stated that she was good, calling the whole TRO hearing, quote, a process, but stating she has a great support system. Later in the panel, Denise was also asked about handling media attention as a Real Housewife, which she referred to as daunting.
Being in the tabloids in itself is very daunting, and when you first have to deal with it, it's very hard to constantly say you need to have thick skin. I think it's different because on the reality shows, our personal life is out there, and so that's what makes it a little tricky.
During another panel the day before, Denise joined Kate Chastain and Jeff Lewis, who asked if Denise is returning to Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. In response, Denise stated that she's making some guest appearances this year, but confirmed she would consider returning as a full-time housewife, stating, quote, we're talking about things. According to a source close to production, Denise, quote, still has a lot of connections within the cast of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, even though she's no longer a housewife. The source added, quote, she's tight with Sutton, has maintained a good relationship with Kyle, and even mended fences with Erica recently, so it made sense for her to come and film again and share her side of the story, since the news has been a topic of conversation off camera among this friendship circle. The source also noted that Richards was leaning on friends who understand more than anyone the pain of divorce, as she's in a difficult time right now. They stated, quote, "In many ways, this brought them all closer. Hopefully, it will open the door for more from her in the future. The fans love seeing her. I feel that possibly the reason she left Beverly Hills in the first place was all because of Aaron. And now she's free of him, she feels ready to join the cast and put her life back out there again. What do you guys think?" So that brings us to the latest chapter in this increasingly chaotic and high-stakes divorce as of the date of recording on November 20th. With Aaron now facing 4 felony charges, an upcoming criminal arraignment, and mounting financial pressure, and with Denise securing a major courtroom victory alongside a looming eviction battle, this story is nowhere near over. As always, I'll be keeping a close eye on every new filing, every appearance, and every development as it unfolds. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more updates on this case as they happen. Thanks for watching.